Hey everybody, welcome back to Exotic Car Hacks, and today we're going to be talking about some of the key cars to look for in 2023 and some of the predictions I have about these particular models. Now again, if you don't know, this is a video for Exotic Car Hacks on YouTube, which you're watching on YouTube, which means you should like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and of course, as you have comments about these cars, put them in the comment field. Now, in addition to that, if you have never used YouTube, there's this really cool thing in the description box, which allows you to take some things that I recommend you do, such as a free training that will teach you everything about getting in and out of exotics without losing any money, lowering your ownership cost by 80%, and of course, maybe understanding how you could actually afford an exotic even though you didn't believe you could. But in addition to that, you will find a link to join Exotic Car Hacks, where you can actually join a community of now over 20,000 incredible people that have joined us that do just this. So either ways, the choice is in your hands. But today we're going to be talking about these specific cars that I think are going to be cars to look out for in 2023 as far as what they do. So I'm going to talk about each of these and go through it, hoping that this video doesn't take on more than 10 minutes. But if you've been following my predictions over the last few years, each year I make some predictions about cars to keep an eye on. And I would say I'm probably about 85% right, which I'd say is a pretty good ROI there in terms of knowing what's coming and what's not. And I usually do an update, obviously a year later, talking about where I was wrong, where I was right, and what happened. So this particular case, here are the cars that I think we should be keeping an eye on very closely in 2023 that I think have a bigger and better chance of going up, or at the very least, stabilizing enough to make them a free asset completely. The Z8. We know that the Z8 specifically is a very collectible car. Now, they made a lot of units, and we were hoping that the Z8 would really skyrocket in the last year and a half as the collector market's been heating up. But it really went up, and we thought it would hold, and it just came back down. So what happened to the Z8 and why did that happen? Too much production numbers. The concept was flawed. Like, the car itself was not very popular. And in addition to that, it did basically what the McLaren SLR did. It just wasn't special enough as a car compared to what else was in the market at the time. So that car has basically gone up, stabilized, and came back down. And I believe it's now near stable. I think it will do a decent job and could be potentially, just like the McLaren SLR did later, eventually, boom, come up. So let's keep an eye on this particular car in the next 12 to 24 months. LP640. Now, most people would say, oh, well, you need a gated car. Those cars are long gone now. They're almost $1 million. We're now talking about LP640's E-Gear cars, 07, 09, 09 being the best here. Multiple 09s have come on the market and have sold for $350K in just a few minutes. So this tells you this market is very, very strong, and very few cars keep popping up that are of quality, which means that the lines are getting blurred between 07, 08, 09. This is a very good sign that the car is on a very uptick up. So for me, the LP640 is going to continue going up and is still an incredible car to go after. SLS. This is something that, again, people have said, well, it came up, this was probably inflated, it's going back down, I don't know what it's going, it's kind of going up. So Mercedes product has this thing that it kind of wiggles in and out of its popularity, but the SLS is still very low numbers for a production car, and in addition to that, it has gull wings, and we still don't have any indication that Mercedes is coming up with another gull wing. So this is going to continue to remain very strong on my list for potentially eventually just booming. So we're just waiting for that ticker to just skyrocket, but we're seeing less and less good units on the ground, because good units, remember, are 2012 for first gen, 2013 and 2014 for second gen, and 2015 for Black Series and final editions. All of those are becoming incredibly hard. The only ones that are left over for cheap are the 2011s. So don't fall for that trap of like, I don't see how the SLS market is going up. So again, just keep that in mind for the SLS as one we're going to keep an eye on. AMG GT Black Series. This is the last of its kind, the last Black Series, a Nürburgring world record, like all of these things going for it, an incredible product, an incredible design. It has a lot of good to it, and it was originally in the 330s. It shot up to the 550s. It is now settled back to the 4s. It will eventually go back up. This is a matter of when and not if. So I would definitely look at those if you can get in one at a really good number. Now, this is one that's really speculative because we've combined these three. I believe that the 458 market, we've already talked about this a dozen times. This is a market that is going to continue to go up little by little every year. Nothing really special here unless you hold a 15 Spider, really low miles. 488 and F8, I'm going to bundle them together here. These are cars to look out for because we are going to see the reaction to Ferrari's new lineup of electric cars and how does that play into the future of Ferrari. How will it be to have a Ferrari without noise? Will it matter? Will it not? This is something we'll have to see. They also have a new variant of the SF90 Race Edition coming out. So we are going to see how this plays out and why this matters or doesn't matter very, very shortly. So I highly recommend keeping an eye, but I wouldn't say to make any investments in these cars. These may be good park around cars. Ford GT, forever and always going to be $1 million car. It will go up. This is we're talking about the 05, 06, a small dip in the space right now, just based on the fact that people have, cashed in and more supplies come on the market. These cars will skyrocket to $1 million. I promise you that. Like, I've been eye-fucking these for a long time. They will go up, and the new ones, again, have a dip too in the 9s now. They will go back up to the 1.3, 1.5. Remember, fully done on all the old ones, all the new ones. Do not forget that. And also, don't forget, 05, 06, the next batch came, again, much later, right? So you have this decade in between. We don't expect to see another Ford GT for quite some time again up here. So this gives a lot of time for these new units that are already at 200% of MSRP to shoot up. So give them time. These will do really well. New and old generations will go up, especially now that production is completely over with the final release of the Le Mans edition. Aventadors. Not all Aventadors are created equal. Look for the S, the SVJ, and of course the Ultimate as going to be the Aventadors leading the way. I'm a believer. I said this, that the Aventador SVJs are going to be going up and staying up. People said when they saw some vulnerability in the market that these are crashing down now, they're 600s. I was like, they're going to stay up and they're going to do really well. They just unveiled the next generation, which will look even crazier, but people will find these Aventadors very collectible, especially because this LP640 market is pushing up the Aventador market from behind. So this is a model to look out for, probably a 2-year span for that, but just keep in mind that this particular model, again, we're not talking about 2012, 2013 Aventadors or 2014's Roadsters. We're talking about better, harder to get specs or variations. GT2 RS having a great dip now, almost back at sticker, and certainly probably one of the last great RSs that will be. We don't know what the new RS will be, but I guarantee you price-wise it'll be a lot more expensive than 300K. So this is a really good car to look out for because it is an underdog and Porsche product has been very stable. So now that it's found its dip, it's a good thing. This is another one that people are overlooking. They're looking at the GT3 saying, oh, values are inflated, they're coming down. I agree with that, but GT3 Tourings are a lot harder to get. No wings, and that purest experience is a lot harder to get and a lot more collectible. A PTS GT3 Touring, regardless that you're looking at an 18 or that you're going all the way up to 22, there are going to be good cars short-term and long-term, especially to hack and drive, even if they're not collectible and non-PTS. So the Dawn is kind of speculative. We're going to look at that because the Dawn is basically on the basis that it's going to be a good driver for the next 12, 24 months because there isn't scheduled to be a replacement to the Dawn, not coming till the end of 24, 25. So just remember that there is still a good distance of time before Rolls-Royce has yet another incredible convertible under their belt. It is expected that the next convertible also will be much bigger because it's based on the Phantom platform, just like the Spectre. So this car will hold its weight in its division, especially at the dollar it's at now. It's almost at 50 cents on the dollar. It is basically trending for good specs at 70 cents on the dollar. It used to trend much lower, so it's gone much higher because of the demand on the car, and I think it will continue to stay stable. So a good car to look at. Very, very good kind of direction if you're looking to hack or keep into a Rolls for 12, 24 months. An underdog here, V12 6-speed Vantage. We are not talking about the new one. We're not talking about the new V12. We're talking about the old one, the old body that ended. This is a 2012 type of car. You're looking at those. They've dipped in the low hundreds. Really good cars to pick up in the long term. I think they will do very, very, very well. We have seen the dogleg 2017 S Vantage 7-speed. That particular car is now doing over 200K, which is much higher than sticker. This is a very, very good car to go after because it's an underdog and there's still good units on the market. And last but not least, I get asked a lot about Lamborghinis. Should the STO be there or not? I'm going to bet on the Performante because of the undervalued dollar it's at now. The STO is still valued very strongly. We'll have to see where STO 63 values come out. There's a new STO 63 coming out. It's going to be basically the same fucking car with just a carbon roof and stuff. So we'll see where that goes dollar-wise. That will dictate a lot of the up of the market, the down. But the Performante market is basically a 290 to 330 market. And it's a very, very undervalued market for what it is. It's at or below sticker, and it's one of the best cars ever made by Lamborghini. I think it will continue to remain iconic, especially as units leave the market. It is not numbered, that is going against it. It is not as hard to get as some of these newer cars are for now, and it is not as design driven as some of these newer cars, but still one of the best Lamborghini driving experiences. And I've always been a believer that quality product is always timeless and will stay its course in history. So there you have it. These are my predictions for 2023. Some of the things you want to keep a lookout on, which ones you can hack, which ones you can drive, and which ones you can make money on. We will take a look at this video a year from now and see how well I've done here on this particular predictions of cars to look out for in 23. Again, don't forget to join us at Exotic Car Hacks. This is, our holiday sales coming up, but click the link in the description and actually join us. It's time to make a change in your life and actually join communities that educate you, teach you, and get you to level up and become better rather than communities that just entertain you. So click the link. I'll see you inside. And of course, leave me your comments. Did I miss a car? Was there a car that was supposed to be on here? Do you think the DBS Superleggera that is ending, will that matter? Will the Valhalla really change things? So many new exciting cars coming up. Love to hear your thoughts. Put it in the comments and I'll catch you next time on another Exotic Car Hacks video.